Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parampara. Om Sakana Vavatu Sakana Upanattu Sakavidyam Karavavake Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vitvishavake. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Good morning. So we are learning the Isavasya Upanishad. We will enter the Upanishad today. In the last 2 or 3 sessions, we set up the context for Upanishad. What is the meaning of the word Upanishad? And then we understood the context where it sits in the overall Veda Grantha. The context is important because irrespective of which Upanishad we are going to learn, the purpose of Upanishad and the adhikaratvam for learning Upanishad should be established, should be common. So in short, Upanishad is Brahma Vidya. That's what we understood. Brahma Vidya means Atma Vidya. So what is Atma means? Atma, whenever we say Atma, the word, we should relate to us, the self. I, you. But Brahman is something which is Brahmanda, which is gorgeous, unthinkable, Ishvara. So when the Veda says Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Vidya, and Atma Vidya, and used interchangeably, there is an inference from this that it is Brahman and Atma are the same. Atma Tattvam, same as Brahma Tattvam. So it is the important insight which differentiates different schools of spiritual progress. Advaitam is the only school of thought, I shouldn't say school of thought, only the path, the truth, that brings this important truth from the Vedas. Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Atma Tattvam is same as between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Understanding Atma is understanding Ishvara. This one particular aspect, the truth, differentiate all other schools of thought, all other religions, all other religious steps. But don't take it, therefore, it is contradicting them. No. For Advaitam, everything is acceptable only as a stepping stone. There's no quarrel. But everything else stops at some place. So when you stop at some place, you do not get the absolute truth, absolute freedom, absolute happiness, absolute knowledge. So whenever you use the word absolute, it is in context to a relative reality, relative happiness, relative truth. So we are naturally wired to be absolutely free, but we are nurtured to see relative happiness. Every time you think about yourself, you are looking for a relatively better life than others. You want relationship. Everything's related. Nothing is absolute. The absolute becomes very scholastic, academic pursuit for us. We think. Therefore, we are happy to take a second best as an option, final option. Relatively, I'm okay. We always say that. I'm relatively okay, sir. There's so many people below me. I'm okay, sir. That's fine to have contentment in life, but not in finding the truth. You cannot say, that's fine, sir. I can be a permanent slave to somebody else as long as they feed me, fine. That is not freedom. So what makes the absolute and relative phenomenon exist? One is a phenomenon, and is a nomenon. Absolute is a nomenon. That is duality. That is Dvaitam. That is the differences. Please don't think it's not Dvaita means Dvaita Vedanta alone. Dvaita Vedanta is against not taking the Advaitam as a final. So are other Vedic schools. Even non-Vedantic schools like Sankhya, Yogam, Mimamsikam, Nyaya Vaisheshikam, all the schools we taught, all of them trust Vedas. They are Astikas. Astika is the one who believes in Vedas, but they don't believe in Vedanta. But they all stuck in what called duality. Duality is God is different, I am different. Only Patanjali moved away from this. What about the non-Vedic schools? Yes, all the non-Vedic schools called Nastikas, Jainas, Buddhas, Christianity, Islam, Arabic religions, any religion, anything that is in the world that exists today, existed before, exists tomorrow, all that will be different or different from Advaita, because everything fears a God. Everything has got a distinct God. So for them, the mukti, therefore the same Vedanta, even if you take a Vedanta schools of thought, the same Vedanta that we studied from Shankara, the meaning that we import from this would be different from what the meaning come from this Acharyas. I have to give this warning to you so that you appreciate what you are trying to understand. Why this difference comes in? Dvaitam is what? Dvaitam means more than one, duality. Differences exist. Now, tell me, do you need scriptures to come and tell you differences exist? Do you need Vedas to tell you that? Don't you know it? We teach the children, you know, the child is born, we say, oh, this is mother, father, tree, biscuits. It grows with differences. Differences is inherent, natural. We see it. Don't go to reality and reality right now. It exists. Yeah, differences exist. I see it. I feel it. Therefore, my state is, it is truth. Truth is differences. I am different from anybody else. You are different. I am different. Granted. But do you need a Vedas to tell you? No. If Vedas tell me, okay, accept it, but I don't need them. I know it. So this is a very convenient assumption we have. You don't even need anything to prove it. Therefore, it sits comfortably. You know, I always tell you, when you listen to a lecture, when you listen to a discourse, or when you listen to anybody talking, 99% of the time, you will say the conversation, discussion was good because the guy says what I believe that is true. Now, if it is not something that you believe in it, you don't question the content, you question the session itself. The speaker doesn't know it because our belief system is so strong. So when Shankara, when Gaudapada, Vyasa, and all those Mahapurushas, when they indicate and show, duality is there. The duality is only what you perceive. There is no difference. Satyam evam. Ekam satyam. Advaitam. It strikes you. It is not acceptable to you. So therefore, every school of thought, every religion, for all good intention, keep God supreme, unbiased, unblemished, far away from the reach surface, as a monitor, controller, granter, compassionate, love, all that. But he's different, always different. So therefore, you have to work hard, do good things in life, pray to him, get benefits. That is life. So why should I say no to it? It's beautiful, because if you all follow this, the world will be a happy place. Dharma will be there, ethics will be there. But then, what is then? You say, yeah, you can do perpetually. The only thing you can do is that your mukti is you become an eternal being. China calls this, it's a Tirthangaras flying in the sky. In some religion, we call it Nitya Suris. You are there all the time, but maintaining your difference from the God. Then some special thing comes in. You can get Swayujam, you can be one with the God, but you lose your identity. Very small. So everybody is afraid to take the last step of Ekam Satyam, Aham Brahmasmi. That's why these sentences which declare that you are none other than the God are called Mahavakyas. But just by accepting those Vakyas doesn't mean you attain that. Just because I know how to cook, it doesn't make me a good cook, doesn't give me the food. So knowledge is one thing, Anubhuti is something else. This is the difference there. So you must remember this point. So this discussion, this Upanishad, this Shankara's Bhashyam we are going to go through, is on the Advaitic concept, Advaitic principles, Advaitic truth. So this is therefore going to say in the Vachanams, in the mantras, that the Brahman, the Ishvara Sattvam, the Atma Tattvam is yourself. Now, this is something I cannot handle, because I come to the Upanishad class looking for peace and Shanti. Not that I want to have any money or anything like this. I know I can do rituals for it. I can do some work for it, but I still not having the happiness for it. I'm told Vedanta gives you happiness. I want to come for the peace. This kind of mukti, losing myself into Ishvara, I'm not ready for it. Yes, you are not ready for it. But therefore, you know the lakshyam for it, put that understanding in your mind, and you go forward. So this is where we're going to get into this. Where necessary, I will bring in the Shankara Bhashya's keywords, because Shankara's, Shankara writes what's called Avatarika Bhashya. Avatarika means a preface. To understand the preface, you need to have another book, He's written for Uttamadhikaris. So we will learn about them when it's necessary. But my task is to really give you in a very easily palatable way. But it's going to strike you hard. It's going to really make you think differently. But this one, you need to hold on to it. Or it'll go away. Like lightning, it'll go away. How do you hold on to it? You think about it. After session is finished, next 1 hour, 1.5 hours, think about this. Then after 2-3 days, bring back to memory. Think about it. The next class comes in. All these things should be done every day, to be honest with you. But we don't have time. So therefore, this gap that you have every week, if you leave it aside, and when you come to the next class, it will all look very strange. So those who are serious about it will have to really think through it. Now, in the last session, we saw every Upanishad got a Shanti Padam. Shanti Padam is a prayer, and Upanishad Shanti Padams are prayers which gives them profound truth. So, there's Shanti Padam here. We will read this. Very famous Shanti Padam. We all know that. We also recite it in the morning. Let's do that one more time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. You can say that.
Purnamada Purnamidam.
Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Purnat Purnamudachyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnasya Purnamadaya.
Purnamevavasishyate.
Purnamevavasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
See, if you, this is a Shanti mantra, we all know this. Normally we recite it at the end of a session, so we know that time to take the car keys in the coat because the class is ending. No, we know that like that. But it is profound. So we are not going to recite with the swaram. Like for example, this one. When you recite the Sakana Babatu, Sakanau Punatu, Sakaviryam Karavavagai, Tejas Vinavadi, Damastama Vitvishabagai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Like this, you have this, what they call it, Udata, Anudhata, and Svarita. Udata means a raised voice, high pitch. Anudhata means not so raised. Svarita means a kind of a sounding it, rounding it. Shanti, Shanti, like that, Vedas are supposed to be recited this way. Whereas this verse is, there's no Svaritam on it. It's just right. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purna, Purnamadachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnamevavasishyate, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You don't say Shanti. You don't do that. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Of course, we can learn from Balaji how to pronounce all this. But here we are not going to go through this swaram. We are going to learn it. So we're just going to say simply Om Purnamadaha. I think we had done this before in a class, but I want to do it one more time because I think it gives you the context of it. Om is the first Shabda. In everything we say in Sanatana Dharma, starting with Om, ending with Om. Om is a pranavam. In fact, Om as well as Adaha. Adaha also like that. Manusmriti says, Omkarascha, other subjectcha, Dvabevo, Brahmana Puraha. Brahma is supposed to be the firstborn, right? From Srimad Narayana, Brahma is born as a Srishtikarta. Then he doesn't know why he was born. He asks, Kasya Kaha, why I'm here, what I'm here. The Atma Vichara we started. Because in our case, when the child is born, we say, look at the tata, look at the party, look at the grandfather. So we started showing things to the child other than something else. When Brahma, when he was born, only Parabrahma was there. Nobody was there to tell him. So he said, who am I? The Atma Vicharam started for him. And then he got the Atma Jnanam. And then he knows what to do. And he took a Srishtikarta as a divine play. But Manusmriti says, Omkara Shabdam and other Shabdam was there, Brahmana Puraha. Before even the Brahma came, these Shabdams were there. So Omkaram is like Ataha. The other Shabdam is also like Omkar. So he said, Adhado Brahma Jignasha. Adha will start as a Mangala Shloka, Mangala Varta. Same as Om. I will not dwell in this because we have seen this before. Omkaram Pranavam represent Nirguna Brahma. Like Krishna is Lord Krishna. When I say Krishna, you think of a beautiful figure of Krishna with a flute on his hand, the peacock feather on his head, cross his leg, Sakala Aishwaryam. So every word, every shabdam gives you a consciousness, awareness in you. But Om is a Nirguna Brahma. What is Om brings to your mind? The shabdam. Om, it merges into the Laya. It's Pranavam. So by prefixing Om in front of Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shivaya Namaha, so whatever God you worship, whatever form of the God you worship, and you put the mantrams are carried by the Om is a carrier frequency, in a communication engineering, when you broadcast something, your broadcasting frequency may fade away. It cannot reach everybody else. So it has been superimposed on a higher frequency called a carrier frequency, and in which it transports. Pervading. So Om pervades everywhere. So Om. So that's why Om starts. Om Purnamat. That also a Mangalam, but it also shows a case. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. What is Purnam? We'll do the Padartham. See, whenever you do this, see, this particular Shanti Padam is for the Shukla Yajurvedam. Therefore, for example, Brahmopanishad as well as Isavasya Upanishad uses this. But Shankara is not giving explanation for this in this Upanishad, but he gives explanation in Brihadaranya Upanishad, which is a Brahmana Upanishad for Isavasya. There it comes as a fourth shloka. It doesn't matter, just for information. In his Bhashyam, what does Bhashyam means? Bhashyam means commentary. But the Bhashyam should have, not everybody can do a commentary, just because I know a bit of Sanskrit or I can use a dictionary, I can do this word by word meaning. No, I cannot do that. Because Bhashyam requires, of course, there is a Padachedam is there, Padatiti is there, Vigraham is there. Padachedam means you split the words. Purnam idam, Purnam udachyate, Purnam udachyate. So you're splitting the words, giving the words meaning. Vakya yojana, how does a sentence comes in? Akshebam and samadhanam, how to refute that, how to give the answer to that. But all that you should do, but unless you know the siddhantam of that verse, you cannot do Bhashya. So Bhagavan Shankara, who's the Parabrahma himself, so he brings explanation of the Veda Saram into this. So we'll see them. So bear with me. So what is Purnam means? We all know Purnam. Purnam, you know that, in Purnam is a sweetness put in the Kodakate, you know that. Purnam also means complete, fulfilled. So we can say in two ways. Purnam is first is Anandam, Sukham, incomprehensible Sukham. Like for the child eating the Purnam of the Kodakate. Sweetness. Modam. Modam means happiness. Modam, Pramodam, we discussed that. Modagam, the sweet that Ganesha carries is happiness. Inside is Purnam. The sweetness is there. What is the sweetness? Completeness. Do I have that completeness in my experience? The word experience is hold on to it. I will demystify experience later. Yes, when I go to deep sleep, I have Purnatvam. Why do I say Purnatvam? Because I'm peaceful. That's the reason why I want to go to sleep every day. If I don't get sleep, I go to the doctor, get the medication. Because sleep is something which I'm intoxicated to. It becomes natural for me. Something draws me to sleep. I go to sleep and I forget everything. There is no disease in sleep. Even a cancer patient, when he's sleeping, there is no cancer for him. He is free from this. There's no time. There's no space. There's no relationship. There is no male, female, black, white, rich, poor. Absolute fulfillment. Purnam. That is Purnam. Paripurnam. So Shukti, deep sleep is Paripurnam. Tell me who doesn't want sleep? Who doesn't want that complete free sleep? Even the rich guy who all the time work for money, he said, I want to sleep. Because he cannot buy that with cash. So the Paripurnam or Purnam is not something esoteric, something theoretical. It is an experience, it's something you can get through. But you see, yeah, but that I don't see it when I am sleeping. When I am getting out of the sleep, I know I had a good sleep. That is a limitation of experience. Experience is not being the absolute freedom. Experience is still witnessing a blissful nature. Therefore, experience is a thought. Thought means it's a vritti. Vritti means it is a vacillation of the mind. That means it comes and goes. But didn't I not enjoy wonderful sleep? No. You were Purnam that time. There is no enjoyment. Because if you enjoy, what is enjoyment means? There's something to enjoy. I'm eating this sweet. The sweet is an enjoyable object is there. I'm the enjoyer. I'm the eater. There's an act of eating, enjoying. Object is there, subject is there. When you're sleeping, what are you enjoying? Where is the enjoyer? Where is the act of sleeping? If you're act of sleeping, you are not sleeping. See? Enjoyer is not there. Enjoying object is not there. The act of enjoying is not there. But what is there? Purnam, Purnatvam. But it is temporary. That is a limitation we have to worry about. Not who is the enjoyer, because it's not enjoyment. I remember, I think it is Pujya Sri Dayananda Swamiji once said, very beautifully said, because whenever you go to a Vedantam, Advaita Vedantam, we bring in the experience into question. Experience, what is science is all about? Empirical evidence. Science doesn't take experience into picture. Then we say, oh, Vedanta is all about experience. You can experience it. We try to defend the experience as a thing. If somebody is ridiculing your yoga anubhavam, you say, look, I cannot tell you, you had to experience yourself. So we find it a very perfect excuse to deflect the argument, because my mystical experience is something you cannot tell you. Experience does exist in me. It's fine. You can use it to defend arguments, but don't stay there, because in a purity of Advaita Vedanta, even experience is a vritti. When you are experiencing and you are feeling experience is your final teacher, final guru, you are in the mithyatvam. Experience can come in so many different ways. So Swamiji said that time, escaping by means of experience is a false freedom. That's what he said. Why? Because when experience ends, what happens? When your deep sleep stops, when he gets up, what happens? The alarm goes on, the SMS comes in, doorbell rings, the milkman comes, children have to be fed to the school. The whole world is waiting to sit on your shoulders. You may be in a good experience of freedom. When you experience freedom, when you experience paripurnatvam, it is temporal because the experience will end. The limiting factors, that means your limited knowledge, the world will bounce on you to give you apurnatvam. So, two things I want you to keep in mind. Purnatvam is real because I am paripurnam and in a deep sleep. There is no difference to me and Parabrahmam in resting on the Milky Ocean, sleeping, in the context of paripurnatvam. That much you must give it. There's no difference. But the biggest difference is, I am a fool. I don't know this. It is temporal. I am limited. Whereas Parabrahmam knows all. Is there all the time. So now you see, there is a difference. As long as we have duality, the difference is there. But we will remove this difference. The difference comes from the adhyasam. Remember, the purpose of Upanishad is to remove the adhyasam, misconception. Right now, let the adhyasam be there. Let the limitation be there. But understand, I do have paripurnatvam, purnatvam, in a deep sleep. There's another definition of purnam is anantam. Anantam means unlimited, boundless. That means it has no how do you bind anything? See. Okay, think about it now. When I look around, I see the whole world. I see the tree, I see the house, I see the car, I see you. When I look outside, I see all those things. But when I look inside, I can see those things inside as well. And more than that, I can see more things I can see inside. Right? So my experience world is what is outside and what is inside. That's what I deal with. Are you with me? Now, I said a word, outside and inside. Outside of what? Inside of what? Where am I sitting? Where is my outside? Where is my inside? It is one vast expanse. I limit this by this body with an eye which is that way and not this way. So the limitation of this vast universe expands out there, in there. The out-in comes because of my upadhi, my adjunct, my limitations, my body. Take it slowly, but keep in the mind. It is one vast expanse of universe. And I have imposed limitation of outside and inside. Because my life is what is outside and inside, nothing else. If it's not in my mind, it doesn't hurt me. If it is not in my vicinity, my logo, my experience, my ambience, my world, doesn't affect me. Therefore, I am dealing with this. My jagat is this, what is inside and outside. But the inside outside is something I impose myself. But the scholars of the scientific world, before now and maybe for foreseeable future, don't think like this, because they do not see the temporal nature of my body. They think I am different. I am a subject. I see the world. So everything I see, I define a shape, a square, a rectangle, an oblong, ellipsoid. So everything got a boundary, length, breadth, width, time, space. So I can bound everything. Therefore, the universe is bounded. So I do a classical physics and do a law of dynamics of geometry, which is bounded by this 3, 4, 5 dimensions. Therefore, I keep on going, looking for the end of the universe. I define some Big Bang theory. Bang against what? Where was it before banging? Where was it sitting? Oh no, maybe that is wrong. Maybe it is expanding. Where is it expanding? Expansion means it has to be contained somewhere else. Expand into which space, which domain? Oh, space. Does space got a boundary? No, space has no boundary. It's empty. Then they brought this emptiness part of it. Buddhism also moved in this direction. But in a limited way, I would say that Buddhism is as close to Advaitam in many thinking, but they stopped somewhere. Not because of Buddha, but the followers of Buddha did not understand what Buddha was saying. They said, no, it's all shunyam. If you think like that, there's nothing there. Emptiness is there. See, how do I say? Emptiness is there. It is, therefore there is emptiness. No. Emptiness is not there. But you just know say emptiness. Well, don't play with the words. There is emptiness which contains nothing. Right? So you take a cup full of water, throw the water, what do you have? What's an empty cup? Relatively right. You are happy, you can pour something else. But the cup really empty? No, contains air. Or if I take it to a place there is a vacuum, it's empty. No, there is electromagnetism. Individual particles are there, there's a force is there. So where is emptiness? So emptiness is there for us in our experience, absence of objects. The Shunyavadam contained Purnatvam. But until Advaitam clarifies them, the followers of Buddha did not take that. They said everything is empty. At the end of the day, nothing is there. If nothing is there, nothing can be born out of this. Every effect has to reflect the cause in some way. That means I am nothing. I am an onion, just peel it off. It demolishes everything, the purpose of life. But you look at it differently. Now, emptiness is because there is a void. Void means what? Loss of absence of objects from experience. That is void. So nothingness. Nothingness is. There is something called nothingness is. That gives meaning to life. Therefore, it exists. When you read the letters on the screen, every letter stays, and between letters, there is a space, empty space, nothingness. But remove those space. Can these letters stand up by themselves? It's meaningless dot. So this nothingness is what creates the visual things, nama rupa, objectifies it. So it is a purnatvam that exists. The purnatvam can be expressed also with nothingness, shunya. Or sometimes they will say, bipolar, darkness. We use the word darkness for avidya, darkness for opposite of, people say purnatvam is infinite, right? They say infinite is opposite to zero. No, it's not opposite. It's not an antonym. It has no boundary. Mathematics uses infinite as some servant made to compute is mathematical mithyatvam. Yeah. Don't go by mathematical infinity. Mathematical infinity is a necessary servant made support and theory. Anything divided by infinity, you cannot do. So all the additive, subtractive, all these rules fail by themselves. So Shunyavadam doesn't stand up. Shunyam is paripurnam. If you take darkness and light, for example, you know what we say, if you take a scientific definition of darkness is absence of light. Perfect. It helps to compute, set up so many theories. So when the light comes, darkness goes away. Why does darkness go away? Where does it go? Darkness is pervading all the spaces before light comes. All the space is filled with darkness. When the light comes, darkness goes where? Cannot go anywhere. Where does it go? So light is not absence of light. Sorry, darkness is not absence of light. It's okay for a relative plane, but darkness is light. Light is darkness. You can't see light. You go to, I think we talked about it in Tattva Bodha as well. When you go to that, when you pass the atmosphere, there's no reflecting bodies, you see darkness. Light cannot be seen. Light can be only reflected. Only the reflection can be seen. So light is darkness. If you want to remember this, remember socks. Yeah, you have a socks, white socks, and it is beautifully woven. Inside the white socks is a black thread. That means inside the socks is black, outside is white. So when you roll up the outside, what happens? You see the darkness. See, so darkness does not go anywhere. It is inside the light. When you open up, I'm giving a simple example, right? Please don't extend beyond this particular context. So darkness does not go away. Light does not go away. If Purnatvam is light and God is light, light is everywhere. Why there is darkness? Light is everywhere, right? Darkness should not be there. Absence of light is impossible. Because absence of light does not mean the darkness that we see. The darkness we see is okay for in a scientific plane, objective plane, an absence of visible light. Light and darkness are the same. Shunyam and Purnam are exactly the same. Vidya and avidya are exactly the same. Take a pause. What did I just now say? Vidya and avidya are exactly the same. Knowledge and not knowing knowledge, ignorance is the same. How do I say that? I say that because I did not objectify. If I say knowledge, you'll say, what knowledge? I say knowledge of this person. Then it is different from ignorance of that person. Because in somebody, the knowledge exists about that person. Somebody, the ignorance exists about that person. So knowledge and ignorance become opposite of each other when you bring in object into the question. You have to very carefully understand what I'm saying. But when there is no objectification, knowledge, ignorance, exactly same, no difference. That's why Ambal is called Vidya Swarupini. Lalita Sahasranama, you know, Ambal is a Vidya Swarupini, Avidya Swarupini. Which Vidya, which Avidya? Vidya, that is Purnam. Avidya, that is Purnam. Why that Avidya is Purnam? Because you have to know means you have to know of something. If there is nothing to know, whether I call it knowledge or ignorance, doesn't matter. It's Vidya or Avidya, doesn't matter. You understand? That's why this Purnam is a very loaded word. So let's now, okay, we have not much time, so let me move on. Purnam Adaha, first sentence. What does it mean? Adaha means, we already talked about it, is Ishvaraha, Parabrahma. The Om is a name for the Parabrahma, Nirguna Brahma. But when the Nirguna Brahman is taken as a Shaguna Brahman, Maya Sakita Brahma. It's called Ishvaraha. Adaha means that. Now, the Shabdam that is only relevant when you have this. Is it not? You cannot say that without any reference to this. You say that because it is far from you. So here, Purnamadaha means that which is Purna. We call it a Ishvara Tattva. Ishvara Tattva means, say, it says Purnam Adaha, Adaha, but it comes Purnamidam in a Nabumsakalingam, in a neuter gender. We all make it as a neuter gender. Purana Tattvam, Puranam, that is complete, is Ishvara Tattva. It's an assertion, it's a statement, axiom. Veda says the principles of Ishvara is Purnam. That means Ishvara is Purnam. Ishvara is completely boundless, infinite, timeless, spaceless, Paripurna Anandam. Who am I to argue? I don't know the Ishvara, but I know there is a Purnam exists because I just know that deep sleep, I see the Purnam as an experience I get through. The Purnam is right side is true, I agree, it's proven existence. Ishvara, I have no idea, but Ishvara must exist. Vedas tell me, I have no question. So I take the equation, Ishvara Tattvam says Ishvara is Purna. So we don't argue. Then it says, Purnam idam. Adaha means there is something idam. Idam means this. What is this? Whatever I see that, I see the book, I see this book, I see this man, everything I see, this whole world, everything I see an object is, here we do Jiva. It's called Jiva Tattva. Jiva means Jiva Rasi, all the beings. Let's refine it, filter it only to humanity. It doesn't matter. You can have also the Jagat as well, Jagat Tattva as well. So everything therefore manifesting the world, it's called a Jiva Tattvam. The Veda says is also Purna. This I cannot accept. The first one, equation one, I can accept because right side is proven, left side is assertion. I don't know, I accept it. Second one, I know I am a Jiva Tattvam. I am a Jiva. I know there's a Purna. I have seen that Purnatvam happens only during the deep sleep for me. But this equation tells me I am always Purna. I can't accept it. How do we understand this one? If I take, for example, an apple, there's an apple there. What is the apple made of? Apple came from the apple tree. The apple tree came from the apple seed. The seed is nothing but the earth. What is the earth? We saw in Ajjikarnam in Tattvabodha. It's all this 5 primordial elements. We can say it's water. The earth came from the water. But water came from the fire. That came from the space. But where does the space come from? You must know it because when do you get the space, when you get the realization of space? When you get it from the deep sleep. In the deep sleep, there's no space. Therefore, when you're awakening, when you're waking up from the deep sleep, space comes in. Everything is there. Therefore, space is coming from Aham. So this apple, innocent apple that is sitting there, is nothing but a jiva tattvam which is coming from aham. It's frightening thought, isn't it? It doesn't sit very comfortably in your so-called rational thinking, but think about it. If you go to the cause of it, it is Atma Tattvam. In Panchatasi, one of the greatest granthas, Vidyananda Swami writes, Asti Bhadi Priyam Chedi Nama Rupam Panchakam. So there are 5 things in everything you see in the world. Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupam. Asti means existence. There is an apple, is existence. Bhadi Priyam. This is, in the same way, to simply remember, Satchit Anandam, Satyam Jnanam Anandam. There is an existence for it, there's an awareness of it, and there is a blissful state of it. The blissful state of an apple, you cannot really think about it. But in every existence, there is a state of being. So these 3 are there. Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. In all these objects, these 3, Asti Bhadi Priyam, or the Satchit Anandam, is Brahma Rupam or Atma Rupam. Jagat Rupam twice. So Nama Rupam is a Mithyatva. So basically what it means is, if you take any object in this world, it is made up of 5 things. Satchit Anandam, which is called the Atma Rupam, Atma, and then you have the Nama Rupam, a name and a form. You cannot call an apple a mango. The Rupam is different, Namam is different. But there is an apple, there is a mango. It exists, there's a place, and objectification is there. So that being there is the Tattva. The Nama Rupam is Mithya. I have a golden necklace. I have a golden bangle. Now, if I tell you they are exactly the same because they are made up of gold, you cannot argue because you can see it. Gold is there. But how it become a bangle? Because the shape is different. The form is different. It's called different name. Right? Exactly same. So therefore, the Jiva Tattvam Purna means it is containing Atma Tattvam. The Atma Tattvam Purna. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarva Bhudase Yasmitaka. Aham Adicham. Adicha Madhyamcha Bhudana Mataramcha. Gudakesha, oh Arjuna, I am in every being, in the center, in the middle, in the end. Bhagavan says. What does he mean by that? That means the Atma Tattvam, he talks as a Paramatma, Ishwar Tattva. We talk as a Jivatma. But what is the common is the Atma Tattva. The Atma Tattvam of being Nama Rupam is exactly the same. That means if I call Shiva, Krishna, Muruga, whatever the God form I have in Ishvara, the Atma Tattvam in that is exactly the same. The Nama Rupam is different. My puja to Krishna, Rama is immaterial. See, if you understand this, that can be a problem against religion and cult. But this is the part of Vedanta. That's why it is universal science, universal truth. The Atma Tattvam, the ingredient factor on which everything resides, is residing both in Ishvara Tattvam as Paramatma and Jiva Tattvam as Jivatma. Therefore, I give 2 equations. Ishvara Tattvam is Purnam, Jiva Tattvam is Purnam. Now, what comes to our mind? Purnam is infinite. I can't have two infinites. If Purnam is all encompassing, how can be there can be two infinites? There are two, there is separation there. One ends, other begins. So these two statements are false. You can ignore it. Or the two statements are exactly the same. In the equation, what you do in mathematics, if A equals C, B equals C, A equals B. Therefore, the Ishvara Tattvam is Jiva Tattvam. That means what is upon which Ishvara graces the world, bestows grace upon the world, upon which the Jiva manifests and experiences the samsara, that upon which they sit, they reside, is the same. Therefore, Jiva Tattvam is Ishvara Tattvam. Now, mathematically, fine. But many things in mathematics is immaterial life. I can't get any benefit out of it. I can't prove it. Empirically, I can't prove it. For that, he gives a third line. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. That is, from the Purnam, Ishvara Tattvam, Purnam, the Jiva Tattvam, has manifested. That's what it says. That means we can say Jiva Tattvam comes out of Ishvara Tattvam. After all, there are Ishvara children. It's just limited part of the Ishvara. A little drop of the ocean. Okay, have the equation. But the next line tells me, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamyeva avasishyate. Purnamyeva avasishyate. Purnasya, Purnamadaya. Purnasya, half the Purnam, from the Purnam or of the Purnam. Purnam Adaya. Adaya. Adaya means, in Tamil you say Adayam Labham. Adaya means you take, subtract, or you take away. Take it for you. What do you take? Take the Purnam. From the Purnam, you take the Purnam. And what is happening there? You get Purnam alone comes out. So if you take, for example, equation 2, Jiva Tattvam is Purnam. From the Jiva Tattvam, if I take the Purnam away, what is remaining? He says, Purnam alone. How do I understand this? If A equal B, and if I take A minus B equal B minus B, it is 0. Nothing should be there. What is this? Purnam Adaya, when you take this Purnam. That means what you're holding on to is Purnam. What you leave behind is Apurnam. Right? Just take the step. If you take Purnam in your hand, that means you have Purnam. So what is left is therefore should be 0, nothingness. How do I understand this? Let's take an example of the water. See, Vedanta always gives 4, 5, 6 examples. And the acharyas don't allow you to take any other examples. You have to take the same examples and walk around, because that is how it is. It is simple and profound. The sea, the clay pot, the silver on the pearl, or the snake on the rope, these kind of examples. So let's take the ocean, take a sea. You look at the sea, ocean, and you see the tides coming up, the water comes up. So what do you see? You see an ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the tides of the ocean. You see two different things. The tides are, waves are very different. Foamy, some are big, some are smaller, some are loud, some are quiet, some are white, some are dark. Different rupa. Big tide, tsunami you call it, short waves, wavelet you call it, different namas, different rupas. And there is a deep ocean. I can see two things. Let us keep the water as the tattva. Now I ask you, okay, please. I'm telling you now this is Purnam. The sea is Purnam, because I see the sea. The tide is Purnam. Now from the tide, I take away the Purnam. Only Purnam remains. So I tell you, please bring the waves. How can you bring the wave? When you take the wave, you bring the wave, what happened? You go to the bucket, take the wave, and give me what are you showing to me? Are you showing me the wave? No. Are you showing me the ocean? No. What are you showing? I'm showing water. Where is the wave? I ask you to bring the wave. Wave is a nama rupam, it is gone. Where is the ocean? Ocean is a nama rupam, it's gone. What I have? Water. The tattva. See? Same way you take a bangle or a necklace and a ring, golden bangle, golden necklace. Please bring me the ring, not the gold. Can you do it? No. When I remove the gold, ring is not there. Ring is nama rupam. Right? So everything, therefore, this world, we see it as a nama rupam. But its existence is based on its asti, priti, bhati, satchit anandam. There is an existence, there is an atma tattvam is there. The atma tattvam gets a nama rupam. Who gives this nama rupam? You and I. This is the adhyasam, aparotam, superimposition. Why it happens? That God only knows. It's a divine leela. Why do I dream? I go to dream. I go to sleep, right? Everything happens to me is my making, right? I go to sleep. I dream before the deep sleep. Who made this dream in me? Not me. Dream happens. The dream I have the whole world created. You know, the dream I can have, I've been born, married, died, the whole life can go. So time is different. I can have a big elephant in my dream. With my little heart, what if the big elephant comes in? Space is involved. A different world is created, Jagat created. Nama Rupa disappears. How does the dream stay? Where was the dream staying? In me, in my Atma, in my awareness. When I say the cup is empty, and I say emptiness is there, and you argue emptiness can never exist, unreal, but you say emptiness is there. Yeah, but I meant nothing is there. Nothing is there. They say, yeah, but it's language. No, it's not language. Because in your awareness, nothing is there. If you are not aware, the cup is empty, emptiness is not there. So even the shunyam, even the emptiness exists on the Atma Tattva, in your consciousness. Atma is consciousness, your awareness. So consciousness is not, sometimes we are fashionable to say, how much time here? Okay, take 5 more minutes and finish this. So sometimes we say, no, well, I don't follow this Vedas rituals. I don't follow all the rules. I live by my consciousness. So I'm pure, We try to say this kind of a thing with a good intention, but without knowing what we're saying, Do we know our consciousness? Do we ever think about our consciousness? Do we differentiate our awareness and thought? No. We think that whatever the mind shows, we think it's a consciousness. If my mind dictates, then I'm not living a moral life. My mind is a monkey. If I have a pet monkey at home and I go by my pet's words, the monkey is ridiculous and my life will be a havoc. So consciousness is not what you think it is. It is, you can know it because you are that. That is your underlying awareness, Sangityam. That's why you can't simply say, I go by my mind. You must really do Atma Vichara. So I hope you understand here. So when you take the Purnam out of the Purnam, always remember the ocean tide example. Something which is undeniable, undeclinable, exists in everything and exists in me. That is me. That's the real me. So to prove this, we do what we do. We bring the why the Ishvara came into picture. Because Om is enough. But we said Ishvara Tattva. Ishvara Tattva means the creation of all these things, the manifestation of all this Nama Rupa. So that is the reason for everything. If the dream comes in, there's a reason. So all this thing called a Karanam, the cause. We know all the cause rest on the Atma. And we say simply Ishvara creates everything else. Therefore, I can say Ishvara Tattvam is the Atma Tattvam, which is undeniable, upon which there is a Karanam. There's a cause. I won't question the cause yet, but there's a cause. Because without a cause, there's no effect. So I replace the first equation. Purnam is Atma Tattvam plus Karanam. Understand? Now, I take the second one. What is Jiva Tattvam? Do I create anything? Tell me, in all your lifespan so far, you achieved so many things. Achieved so many things. We think, have you created anything new? Nothing. I have not created anything new. I have rebind something. I manipulated something. I give it a different name because I have no way of creating anything. I can only reuse it. Even the very word I speak, what comes to my mind. Any poetry I write, it's something comes out in the sky. Any food that you cook is what is being already available. Therefore, I am nothing but an effect. Here the I is the Jiva Bhava. Therefore, the Jagat is Atma Tattvam, because that is the fundamental effect. So Ishvara is Atma plus cause, Jiva, the Jagat is Atma plus Karya. So you can replace Jiva or Jagat, doesn't matter. Now there are two equations are valid. Now therefore, I put the Karyam. Karyam is always, effect is always cause remodified. A coconut became a desiccated coconut. Same thing. Coconut is the cause. Desiccated coconut is Nama Rupam. So Karyam is Karanam plus Nama Rupam. Right? Therefore, I can say Jiva Tattvam is Atma Tattvam plus Karanam plus Nama Rupam. Now you know it is a simple equation. But Atma Tattva plus Karanam is Ishvara Tattva. That means Jiva Tattvam is Ishvara Tattvam plus Nama Rupam. See, that means I am no different from Ishvara, but my Namam, my Rupam has been different, has been differentiated. The Nama Rupam is limiting me. But I know the Nama Rupam is not Ishvara Tattvam, therefore this should be a Mithya. It should be unreal. Wait a minute. If it's unreal, I should not see you as a man, Raja. I see you. I see differences. Yeah, it is real in this world. Well, please tell me, real or unreal? For this world, for you, it is both real or unreal. You are confusing me. Yes, it is one of those things which is undefinable. Nirvachaniyam. Well, I think this might be the only thing undefinable. Undefinable is not good for science, is it? Can you define time in science? I can't. Can you define space? I can't. So the Anirvachaniyam is there. Yes. Therefore, accept the Nam Rupam is mithya, is both real and unreal in experience. But in absolute reality, it is non-existent. It is shunyam. It goes away. Does it goes away forever? No. It's like the white socks, black socks. You remove it. Why do I have to give such a supreme status of Ishvara? Because even though we say mithyatvam, maya, illusion, that is the power of God. How can power of God be ridiculed, lowered in status? It is also the God. It is a form of the God, the projection of the God that makes this leela of hiding, projecting, vacillating, changing. Well, why can't you play in this game? I can play in this game. I can be part of it. After all, God wants to play in creating forms. I can be one of the dolls. I can play. But I am not able to play because I don't realize it is a play. I cry. I fear death. I fear sadness. I get greed, envy. I feel limited. That means I don't understand the play. I become entangled. I don't see I'm an actor. I become an impacted person. Therefore, I have a samsara. I have the dvaita bhavam. Therefore, you come to Vedanta, I tell you, it is a mithya. Now, what is moksha? Moksha is, once you know it, and if you are free, you are liberated. It is not a place somewhere up in the sky or down in the earth, somewhere to, it's not a heaven. It is freedom. Then can I be in this world, take a lot of birth if you want to, like Krishna and Rama? Just enact for others. Or you be one with the Parabrahman. Choice is yours. You take the control. You become your decider of where you go. That is freedom. That is mukti. That is what Advaitam gives you. That is what this Shanti Padam gives you. Then it says, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay. This normally we say 3 times. Adhyatmikam, Adhibhautikam, Adhyaitam. Adhyatmika means when I pursue this life of spiritual life in this world, let me be fully knowledgeable. Let my impediments don't hurt me. What kind of impediments? Vada, pitta, kabam. Sorry, all these troubles comes in your body. Or manasika dukkha. What is manasika dukkha? Ishta prapti, anishta prapti. What you like doesn't happen. What you don't like happens. Mind becomes convoluted. So let this kind of impediments don't come. Let there not be external factors like thunderstorm, lightning, things like this. Let there be not karma vasanas affect me. So in all kinds of way, may I have freedom. Help me, God. So this is how this Shanti Padam is. So many things I mentioned here is applicable to all Upanishads. But this particular Shanti Pada is, normally people don't learn it until they come to the end of Upanishad, because it come back to it, it proves that. That's the reason I said this is a very difficult Upanishad, but very revealing. think about it today, tomorrow. Think about it before the next class, because we're going to build on it to go into the first verse of the Isopanishad. So we say this again as a Shanti Pada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Om Purnamada
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamevavasishyate.
Purnamevavasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tatsat.
Om Tat Sat.
Thank you.